This one kind of hits home. It says, does your gym require you to wear gym branded or gym patch gear? So let's make a poll for that one, guys. Does where's my thing at? Oh, your let me say academy. All right, guys, got a poll. Does your academy have a uniform policy? So, um, for those of you that don't know, I'll leave that up for a while. I train at Alliance, so we didn't have a uniform policy, but I think you had to put a patch on your gi, so you could wear whatever gi you wanted, and then you could put a patch, the Alliance patch on there. And then one day they were like, "All right, you guys got to get the uniform." So we went from wearing whatever we wanted to having to wear uniforms. And some people left because of that. So no more show your roll, no more AP. So you couldn't wear. So whatever gis you had, basically couldn't wear anymore. And then you had to purchase the gis from the gym. And then we couldn't really control the quality or the fit or the price. So you kind of were screwed a little bit. We were kind of screwed. If the gi was $200, well, you got to pay the $200. If the gi ripped, well, you got to buy another gi. The gi didn't fit well, you got to keep training with the gi that didn't fit well. I think eventually before they would just have one gi, but now they have a couple gis. But initially you were just screwed. You had to wear like the crappy gi. Quan said if he can't wear a show you roll or AP, he leaving. Quan 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 said I can't wear my fancy gi, man, my expensive gi. I'm leaving. It does suck. Um, and then sometimes that means the no gi. We had a uniform for the gi. You have to wear the line ski, and then you had to wear the Alliance no gi stuff. And then some gyms take it even farther. You got to wear spats and rash guard under under all your stuff. If you go to AOJ, you got to wear all that stuff. And you can only wear white gi, and you can only wear black no gi. How many rules, bro? How many rules you got to deal with? So Quan couldn't train at a AOJ unless you'd have to wear your white gis there. Someone says I've trained at probably half a dozen gyms as a member, not just as a drop in. And outside of Gracie Baja, I've never heard of having to wear gym branded gear for training, competitions, promotions, events, etc. Of course, but never for training. I joined my current gym 2 years ago. Never had this rule, and out of nowhere, the owner implements a new policy that I don't know. I might know this guy. That you must be geared up or patched up with the gym's branding to just train there. Well, if you could just throw the patch on there, $10 patch, that's fine. But if you got to wear the gi, that kind of sucks. Because the gis they never be good. They got the base model Pakistani gi. Not that there's any problem with Pakistan, but that's where most of the gis come from, outside of origin. But the fit never be good, bro. That thing gonna shrink. That thing gonna be too. It's gonna be too. The fit gonna be off, and it's gonna shrink. We were just told this is normal nowadays. Where? So figured I take an informal poll out of curiosity. Nope, my gym sells rash guards, spats, and shorts with our gym on them, but isn't required. That's perfect. If you made good apparel, people would wear it. But when you force people to wear it, I mean, it's different if you got a big school, you got a 300 member school. Okay, I understand. But if your school's small and now you throw the uniform on there, I think your priorities are mixed up. Grow your school first and then throw the uniform policy on there. No, but I try to at tournaments and seminars and promotions. Our gym doesn't require it, but coach waives a month waives a month of dues if you buy a branded gi as incentive for everybody to own at least one set. Mm, I got one for free with my 6 month sign up. Um, yeah, you should offer that new gi to the newbies, the new people. But if someone's already grandfathered in, they've been training for years without a uniform, and you throw the uniform on them. Jason says Andre said he did not have a uniform policy until he saw AOJ and how good it looked and made the same policy at Autos, not to mention the revenue. Well, but they just is that that's not that's a little bit better. It's a little bit better because they don't have a uniform policy per se, but you just have to wear the white. You got to wear the white gi, which is a lot easier. It's easier for you to wear your favorite white gi, your AP gi, your inverted gear gi, your I don't know, your origin gi that's white versus you having to wear the branded gi that comes with that your gym's promoting. That's a little bit different. That's a little bit more doable. Most people have a white gi, and there might be the odd person that doesn't have a white gi. But listen, they can find a white gi that they like. Okay, they can deal with that. But when you got to wear the branded gi from your gym, think about Gracie Baja. You got to wear the branded Gracie Baja gi. Uh, you kind of stuck. Unless you can do your own custom one, you don't know what the fit's going to be like. You don't know what the shrinkage going to be like. And you know what? These gis are never IBJJF legal. So now you got to buy a gi for your gym to train at, and then you got to buy a gi to compete in. So that kind of sucks. Um, and AOJ and Autos, they can't implement a uniform policy like they can. You only have to wear show your old gi or whatever gi, because most of their athletes are sponsored by different brands like King's Kimono, Hyperfly. They can't get rid of that branding, but they can make you wear the white version of that gi. So it's not too bad. Some schools make you wear white. Some schools make you wear black. Some schools make you wear white and blue. Some schools you can only wear white, blue, black. I don't know. But most gyms like Atos and AOJ, I mean, those are two of the top gyms in the world. They're always filming there, right? So that's a little bit different than your run of the mill gym, your regular gym. If you guys not on camera all the time, you don't need that uniform policy like that. Or if your mats, if you don't have white mats that get damaged easily, then you don't need that uniform policy. It tends to work out that if you make gear that isn't ugly and you price it at competitive to retail, your members will buy it voluntarily to support and all match as a team. You're not going to get that many more buyers by forcing it. Listen to that, instructors out there. But you will get a lot more anger and grumbling. Somebody else says it's a money grab, and I say that as a club owner and 25 plus year practitioner. Someone said, "Do you go to my gym?" It's happening at a couple gyms. Again, I think instead of focusing on their business, they're trying to implement this uniform. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on this. My take is that unless your school is bigger, and unless you can offer comparable gi to like what your students could buy from Inverted Gear or Hyperfly or Show Your Roll, I say stay out the branded gi business, unless you want to go the route of Gracie Baja. But I mean, you know what you're getting when you go to Gracie Baja. um, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I see that is a revenue, a way to generate revenue. Yeah, but you forcing people to buy something. You should just make really good gear. Um, what I suggest, I've been suggesting this for a while. Nobody listens to me. You know, say you're a gym. Instead of making your own crappy gear, instead of making that one-off crappy gear, partner do a collaboration with Show Your Roll, with A&P, with Inverted Gear, and make your gear that way through those brands, and then make find the brands that people want to wear. Make it optional, but then if you have good gear, people will want to wear it. Or just go the route of the other gyms, Atos and AOJ. Just have a color uniform. All right, we're just gonna wear white geese here. Okay, awesome. People understand that. Um, I mean, people spoiled now. People buy $200 geese. They don't. I don't want to wear a crappy gi with the patches all messed up. It ain't IBJJF legal. People don't want to wear ugly stuff. If your gear look good, they will wear it. I mean, even Alliance, they would partner with like Storm. Uh, we had a grip ski. I think they got a King's Kimono gi. Yeah, you can't be making crappy uniforms now, bro. This ain't the year 2000. People are used to the finer things. We don't want crappy geese no more, guys. Come on, man. Especially if they pay a lot of money, you can't give them crappy gear. Jason says that at AOJ and Atos, when you visit, they make you wear their gi with visitor. Yo, yeah, they got visitor. They should just put a target on you. They make you wear the gi with visitor embroidered on it. At Atos, I know if you are an area visitor and do the no-gi class, you have to buy the rash guard and shorts. Yep, that is true. Again, those are the best schools in the world. Unless your school is one of the best schools in the world, you got Andre Galval or you got the Mendez brothers teaching. It's gonna be hard to convince people. And if you guys think everybody at AOJ was happy with that kind of stuff, I assure you there's people that weren't. You think there's people that all the people are happy when AOJ raises their rates? I assure you there's people that left there. I assure you there's people that aren't happy with it. Um yeah, I don't know. I mean, do you guys want to live in a jiu-jitsu world where you have to wear uniforms everywhere? I mean, yeah. Well, if you have your own gi, you can wear it to AOJ. If you don't have your own gi, you got to wear the AOJ guest gi, and I think you got to wear the AOJ. Actually, I think you can wear whatever no gi stuff you need to wear as long as it's black. And Atos, you might have to wear the Atos rash guard and stuff. But they got a lot more no gi kind of centered classes though. I don't know what they do, man. I don't care what they do. I bought one of my gym skis to show my support, but it's by no means required. I'm a sucker for non-traditional colorways, so a required uniform would be a deal breaker for me. So a lot of deal breakers. Um, so you might lose some of your higher belts. I mean, the new people don't care. Move to a new city and surprised at the number of non-Gracie Baja schools here that require their gis or patches. At least most of them let you use your own gi and just add their patch, which is fine, I suppose. One of the gyms in my area does marathon roll contests like a couple times a year and gives out free gear to the people who get the most rolls. An owner just tosses people trash rash guards and shirts across the mats. I don't like the patch rule. Our patches are overpriced, and I only buy patches for my competition gi. In theory, all gis must be patched, but I've never heard of it being enforced. Something that would be cool, in my opinion, for people who travel a lot and drop in different places is get a gi, put your home gym's patch in the main spot, then fill in around with patches from all. Don't do that. My gym asks that you wear the school gi to promotions and seminars just for the reason of pictures, but they never enforced it, and no one's ever really felt the need to play against it. One another thing I'm thinking about is that Atos and AOJ, they got a lot of members, so they don't care if people leave. But if your gym's not at that caliber and you got a lot of competition around you, you got to think about that. You might be you enact that uniform policy. All right, I'm going to the gym across the street now. I'm going to the gym across town. Screw this. I'm gonna go to where I can do whatever I want. Yeah. I don't know. I've been training so long. I ain't dealing no uniform. Up, got a uniform. All right. I think people severely overestimate the markup and profitability of branded gis. At least at every Gracie Baja I visited, Gracie Baja has over 50,000 members, bro. That's a different business model. I visited. Getting the gi through the school means you get it at cost, or you can get it online. Um, I come from a traditional martial arts background where buying a uniform is standard, so it doesn't bother me. Well, screw you, bro. We don't require visitors to wear branded gi at open mats, and you can wear whatever. Same thing with rash guards under the gi. Well, you just don't go to this guy's school. It started to become more common. Alliance requires it. Gracie Baja does. A regional chain of gyms here has the requirements too. I just moved after owning and running my own gym. At least half of the gyms I visited made me wear a loaner branded gi instead of mine and required it for membership. Instant nope for me. So yeah, some gyms. I understand it is a profit. There is. Actually, I don't know how much profit there is. Say the gi costs you $25 to $50 to make. You're selling it for 125, 135. Yeah, but unless you got volume, I just don't see the purpose behind constantly making your own gi. And you got to do quality control. You got to make sure everything's right. I think you should outsource that to other companies, Inverted Gear, AP, whoever. And then you make a gi that people actually want, and you make a little bit of revenue. Versus if you're trying to make your own gi through somebody in Pakistan, the gis come out messed up. I just don't see it. Traditional martial arts like karate, taekwondo, it's not even a thought that you would wear a different uniform from the schools. Why do you think BJJ is so different from other martial arts? Well, it's just how we evolved. Jiu-jitsu started off more counterculture. It was always different than traditional martial arts. We're less formal. There's no bowing. It's more relaxed. But we're seeing that go. We're seeing that go away. All the gyms that were trying to be different back in the day, your Gracie Baja Alliance, now they're more strict. um, you just people had so much freedom. They could wear whatever gis they wanted to. They could wear whatever rash guard they wanted to. Look at the rash guards people be wearing. They be wearing any kind of rash guard. So you let people taste freedom, and now you're trying to take the freedom away. Good luck. When you do traditional martial arts, there is no freedom. You bow to the sensei, you bow to whatever, you bow on the mat, and you usually people going into traditional martial arts, they're usually just starting, so you don't know anything. But jiu-jitsu is way different. Just the culture of dropping in, traveling, competing. It just more. There's more cross pollination in our sport versus like, if you say you did taekwondo, it never dawned on me to like drop in at another taekwondo dojo or dojang or anything. Like, all right, it didn't seem like a thing. But jiu-jitsu was like, hey, I'm going to Chicago. I'm gonna drop in at a gym over here. No research at all. You just look in. What's closest? Here we go. I'm gonna drop in today. And the culture is just different. We have a culture of, you can wear these gis that are custom, basically fit to your body, whatever design you want, whatever fit you want, whatever you want, you can have it. Look at Show Your Roll. Look at AP. Quan says, the stricter the uniform policy, the more worship culture the academy has. That is true. You lose your personality. you lose your uniqueness when you gotta wear the uniform, which is good for the business, but is not necessarily good for the students. Again, AOJ, Atos, you can wear whatever uniform you want. It just got to be white. It just got to be white. They're not making you wear some ugly Atos gi. Well, Atos. If anything, their design has become less. Have you seen the Atos design, guys, recently? Let's see if we can find it. They've been making their gis. See, they got their own gi too. They've been making their gis like very simple. Like they simplified their logo and stuff. So they make their own gear, but you're not forced to wear this gi. And look, it's pretty simple. You can't see the patch here. You see the patch? They simplified that. And I'm not the biggest fan of that, but it's, now let's compare that to a Gracie Baja gi. So this gi, this ain't bad. You could wear that gi. It ain't bad. That's not a bad gi. The rash guards, the rash guard's not that bad either. Where's the rash guard at? Yeah, that's not bad, That's actually a good uniform. I mean, I don't really like the logo anymore. I like the details in the logo. The details in the logo. Well, let's look at Gracie Baja. Actually, that doesn't look too bad either. Man, yeah. So when they say branded gear and gi, this is what they mean. I don't want to wear. I don't want to wear. Get out of here. How do I get out of this thing? Like that's too much, man. That's too much. You got a big Gracie Baja, another Gracie Baja, another Gracie Baja. Okay, where are you training at? I train at Gracie Baja. Quan says, I ain't trying to worship someone 10 years younger than me, even if they are going to tap me out at will. Yeah, man. I don't want to wear this crap, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not saying Gracie Baja's crap, but look, how many gym patches do you need? Okay, Gracie Baja, Jesus Christ, how much? And man, the gyms that are small, that's $225 too, guys. You guys see that? All right, Jason Whitfield said you got to buy the uniform. Jason Whitfield gonna have you buying that $225 uniform over here. Man, what if you can't afford these gis? Yeah, we ain't even talking about that. What if you need that Santa Bowl gi? What's the pricing over here? Let's look at the pricing. Shoot. 225, 159, 159, 149. Their base model gis 149, bro. What if you can't afford that? Yeah, what if you can't afford that gi, bro? You over here. You got to pay $200 for training, another $200 for your gi. You cooked, bro. And you got to wear Gracie Bob. Say you leave that gym, you got to take all these embroidered patches off. That's gonna, they might rip the gi off. And sometimes they make the gi so the patches are like you can't take them off unless you destroy the gi. And look, you can't take this. You can't take this patch off. That's in there. That GB1. You can't take that out. Bro, you can't force people to pay 149 for, man. I'm paying 149. I want to wear a gi that I want to wear. Let's look at Gracie University gi. Jason says, "What is inverted gear base model price? $100, $80, $100. Boom." And inverted gear there's an inverted gear academy. All you gotta do is wear. They just say wear some inverted gear. You can wear whatever inverted gear you want. $100. And I think you get a little discount. $100, bro. You can wear whatever gear you want. Let's look at Gracie University too. University. Yo, most of these schools that had the gi policy, they do be cults though. I gotta throw AOJ under the bus though. They kind of cultish, man. Where are the gis at? That ain't the gi. This ain't too bad. Oh, God, dog. $265. Go ahead and pay for that, guys. But that's made with Origin. That's a little bit better. But man, say you go to say you drop in at a different school, you can't wear that. Yeah, say you want an Origin gi. Say you want a nice gi. You want an Origin custom Origin gi. If they got a uniform policy, you can't wear that Origin gi no more. You can't wear your 348 gi no more. I mean, I ain't never paying $348 for a gi, but you guys can. Bro, they won't let me get out of this though. Imagine you paid $348 for your gi. And the next day, your coach is saying, "Hey, you got to wear the uniform. You can't wear your gi no more. You got to wear the uniform." I'd be pissed off. And what if you got, say you've been training for a while, you got about 10 gis. Quan got 20 gis. Quan got 20 show-year-old gis. And they say, "Hey, you got to wear the uniform." He can't wear his show-year-old gis no more. What is he supposed to do with his gis? Sell his gis? His collectible gis? That's crazy, bro. What if you sponsored? I'm sponsored by Inverted Gear. Oh, you got to I have to wear Inverted Gear gis. I can't follow no uniform policy. I can put a patch on. That's all I'm gonna do. They got a new gi. The Rift 2.0 Raptor weave. What is that? You just got your new Raptor gi. You can't wear that Raptor gi. It's not uniform official. You can't wear your spiral cut. Up, you can't wear that. You can't wear none of this cool stuff. You're telling me I can't wear no cool gis? I gotta wear the lame I gotta wear the lame uniform gi? I might have to pull a Quan. I'll see you guys. I understand schools got to make money. Why not just offer your apparel? Make good apparel, offer it to your students. Make it so that they want to purchase it. We don't want to be forced to purchase. We don't want to be forced. Well, you guys are forced to pay like high tuition fees and then be forced to wear a uniform fee or pay for a uniform that you don't like. That just kind of sucks. Quan says, "I actually been selling my showy roll and AP gis. I bought too many back in Florida." Yo, Quan, good thing they have good resale value. I bought too many. Yeah, you did buy too many. Quan said, "Gonna be tough reselling any Gracie Baja gis. You gonna have to sell them to new Gracie Baja students. You might as well go ahead and donate that gi or burn it or something. You ain't getting no money back from that. Yeah, what if the gi is an investment? What if that you had a show your old gi? You at least you can break even or make a little profit. You ain't gonna make a profit on these ugly even the Autos gear. You can't even sell that again. Nobody gonna buy that. I used to sell some show your old gis, bro. I will wear the show your old gi a couple times and then sell that thing for a profit. Used. Used. That thing was sold $100, $200, $300 over. That's a stupid policy. When I was shopping for a gym and they told me that I could only wear a certain color gi, I pieced out of there. I'm at a place that doesn't give a crap. Wear whatever as long as it's clean. Ironically, I bought their gi because it was $70 and good quality. And that's why a lot of the no-gi schools be doing better than the gi schools. Not all the time, but sometimes. Man, you can wear whatever no-gi stuff you want to wear. Just keep it clean. And the only no-gi places with uniform policies are is Autos. Tim Planet, you can wear whatever you want. B Team, wear whatever you want. New Wave, wear whatever you want. It's only the gi people trying to make all this money off of you know, off the apparel like that. Well, make apparel people want to wear. Says, yeah, I don't really mind. They have a good variety of brands to choose from. I don't really care that. $50 gi people tapping out $200 gi people. It's great. Yeah, what about Sandoval? You telling me your uniform's gonna be cheaper than Sandoval gi? Bro, get off of here. No thanks. I'll pay for it. Yeah, get out of here. Oh, they got some expensive ones. Where's the cheap stuff at? Where's the cheap? Yo, Santa Bowl's expensive too. Oh, they got expensive stuff too. All right, 99, 64. All right, $64. All right, who out there? Your uniform gi is gonna be way more expensive than $64. Oh, look. Okay, look. $35 for the geese jacket only. Okay. 99, 57. You can get a gi for 57.99, guys. 40. Oh, that's kids gi. How? Yeah, look at that. All about them sweet $50 BJJ direct gis. Yeah, you can get those gis too. You can get a gi for $70. You can get the pants for the top for 35. How much the pants though? Oh, it's a mix and match. You can get a. I don't know how much that costs though. Oh, you gotta buy that separately. And just quality, man. You don't know what kind of quality you're getting. I get inverted gear. I know the quality is going to be good. I get a shoyu roll, at least the base model. I know the quality is going to be good. I get a Fuji gi. I know the quality is going to be good. When you get these these random gis, that one off gi, you don't know what the quality is. I don't trust the gi. The comfort, I don't trust the comfort. I don't expect that thing to last. The style's not going to be good. It's going to look like that Gracie Bahagi. It's going to be looking like the Gracie Bahagi. Man, Jesus Christ, bro. I don't know. I'm saying don't force me to wear this. You can have that as an option, your gym gi, but don't force people to wear that stuff, bro. This ain't traditional martial arts was okay back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. It's 2025. Jiu-jitsu's kind of got that streetwear kind of culture, kind of cool. I don't want to wear no lame gis, bro. I like my inverted gear. I put my inverted gear on. I'm good, bro. Looking styling. And most of the traditional martial arts is kids anyway. At least in America, kids don't care. Put the kid in a little paper gi. You can't put no old dude in some of these gis, bro. They rip. I'm not gonna make me wear the uniform gi and that thing rip immediately. What the heck, bro? I need a gi that I can trust to stand up to these grips. Yeah, I don't like the uniform. If you guys didn't notice, I think Jason Whitfield he for the uniform. No, Jason Whitfield said you guys need the uniform. Well, you want the uniform, go to traditional martial arts. We got another post. We've been talking about uniform for a while.